Against Mario Barrios, you called most, if not all, of Manny's most substantive fights over the years. What do you think of that?
Sad. Just sad that he feels any reason or urge whatsoever.
Based on who Boots is now and based on who Pac used to be, Pac just ain't that guy no more. Mario, too slow, takes too many punches. But as far as that fight goes, man, I'm at the point now, I hate to see some of these guys come back and get in the ring. It's what they want to do.
Boxing professionals sized Manny Pacquiao up against Mario Barrios after their press conference and face-off with Mario Barrios, and they think the fight is a suicide mission for Manny Pacquiao. The height difference is crazy, and Barrios looked like a hungry giant against an aging Pacquiao, and these professionals couldn't hide their thoughts. One man who has predicted what he believes the outcome will be when Pacquiao faces Barrios is highly respected trainer Robert Garcia, who has worked with the likes of Anthony Joshua, Nonito Donaire, and Bam Rodriguez.
I think we're gonna be worried about what happens in that fight because, Barrios may be the easiest of the champions. Maybe that's why Manny decided to come back and give it a try. But even then, Barrios is young. Barrios is a strong guy, that could actually hurt Manny. Manny didn't look good in his last performance. This is a couple years ago, and it was kind of embarrassing to see Manny end up like that.
Speaking to EA's News, Garcia made no mistake in backing Barrios to prevail against Pacquiao, claiming the younger fighter will have the edge over the veteran Pac-Man. I gotta go with Barrios. He's young, he's the champion. Pacquiao's like 46 already? At that age, that's too much. That's like me getting in the ring. I can't, I'm 49. The announcement of 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao coming out of retirement to fight reigning World Boxing Council welterweight champion Mario Barrios has been met with a ton of criticism from fans and media pundits alike.
Off that. This is embarrassing, but it's also a bit disgraceful. Manny Pacquiao, as you just said, 46 years of age, hasn't won a fight in 6 years, and you're correct, he got beat quite handily by Yodinas Ugas 4 years ago. He had an exhibition fight a year ago, and he was awful in that. It was a draw because there were no judges and both men got their hand raised, but he got beat up in that. So it was clear to see that.
This was conveyed by the sentiment DAZN boxing analyst Ade Oladipo shared on May 13th when he said, "This is embarrassing, but it's also a bit disgraceful. Manny Pacquiao, as you just said, is 46 years of age. It is clear to see that this guy can no longer do it at any level, let alone world championship level. And Manny Pacquiao is a volume fighter. You can't do that type of output at 46. It's just not going to be there. I find it almost comical what the WBC are doing," he added.
This guy can no longer do it at any level, let alone world championship level. Manny Pacquiao is a volume fighter. I mean, you look at sort of the fight cards in the last couple of weeks, and we've been bemoaning the fact that these guys have no output. Manny Pacquiao has been known over the years for output. You can't do that type of output at 46. It just is not going to be there. I find it quite it's almost comical what they're doing. Look, fighters will always want to fight. I mean, boxers are littered with fighters that want to come back and have a fight.
Robert Garcia, during another interview with Boxing Scene, said, "I think we're going to be worried about what happens in that fight. Barrios is young. Barrios is a strong guy that could actually hurt Manny. Manny didn't look good in his last performance. This was a couple years ago, and it was kind of embarrassing to see Manny end up like that. Hopefully he gets in really good shape, but I don't see things going right with Manny at this point anymore."
Hopefully, he gets in great shape. Maybe he gets a really good nutritionist or somebody that's going to help him very well. But I don't see things going right with Manny at this point anymore. Hopefully I'm wrong. I would love to see him become champion again because, like Paulie said, it gives all the other guys, a big fight, a big opportunity, and maybe we'll see Floyd come back and do a rematch with Manny, and it'll be a huge fight. I don't know. I really don't know, but it might be sad to see Manny back in the ring.
He later added, "It might be sad to see Manny back in the ring. That's what I'm thinking. All fans can do is hope Pacquiao manages to avoid serious injury once he enters the ring again." Famed broadcaster Jim Lampley has expressed his sadness at reports that Manny Pacquiao is set to return to the ring in July against Mario Barrios. Speaking on Chris Mannix's podcast, Lampley said that while he understood the desire of Pacquiao to return at the age of 46, he felt it was sad that the soon-to-be Hall of Famer had chosen to come back.
However, on the other hand, fighters fight. It's what they do. Hey, Jim Lampley was gone for 6 years. Was it stupid for him to choose to come back and fall a fight? Was it a risk? Was there a possibility that he could embarrass himself? And
Lampley said, "It's just sad that he feels any reason or urge whatsoever. However, on the other hand, fighters fight. It's what they do." The broadcaster, who recently returned to call the fights that took place in Times Square a few weeks ago, compared his situation to that of the Filipino boxer. He said, "I was back doing something I love and getting paid for it, so I understand why Manny wants to come back and do something he loves and get paid for it, but it's one thing to talk into a microphone when you've been a few years away and you're a little bit older. It's entirely a different thing to go in and hit and get hit."
he could embarrass himself and fall on his face. Are there some viewers and listeners out there who think that's exactly what he did? Sure, that's possible. But I was back doing something I love and I was getting paid for it. So I understand why Manny wants to come back and do something he loves and get paid for it. But it's one thing to talk into a microphone when you've been a few years away and you're a little bit older. It's entirely a different thing to go in and hit and get hit.
Pacquiao, August 2nd, 62, is reported to be facing WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios later this year. A situation seemingly bolstered by the Filipino's new place within the World Boxing Council's rankings this week at number 5. This ranking means that he is eligible to challenge for the sanctioning body's belt. The former multiple weight world champion last fought in August 2021 when he dropped a unanimous decision to the Cuban Yordenis Ugas for the World Boxing Association belt. Since then, Pacquiao has fought exhibition bouts against DKU in December 2022 and kickboxer Rukia Anpo in July 2024. Ugas, who was 26, 4 at the time, melted out of title contention soon after with 2 subsequent losses.
And he made ungodly, indescribable sums of money. So I wish it were enough. But I'm not surprised that it isn't. You can't be surprised that it isn't. There's nothing in the world. Way back when Ray Leonard was having trouble retiring, and I was friends with Ray, I asked him one time, in the closest, most intimate kind of friendship way, I said, "Ray, why is it?"
While the first of those losses was a stoppage in 10 rounds to Errol Spence Jr., then 27-0, he then dropped a wide unanimous decision to Barrios in September 2023. Barrios, February 1st, 29, hails from San Antonio, Texas, and won the interim World Boxing Council title against Ugas. He has since defended it against Fabian Andres Maidana, 24-4, and Abel Ramos, June 2nd, 28. After winning a unanimous decision over Maidana, Barrios labored to a draw against Ramos. While nothing is yet confirmed, the volume of talk and rumor that has built in the last week around a Pacquiao return is deeply suggestive that such an offering is in the works. On his podcast, The Fight with Teddy Atlas, Atlas voiced his worries for Pacquiao, given his age, how he looked in his last fight versus Yordenis Ugas in 2021, and his exhibition bout against Rukia Anpo in 2024. "I'm very concerned," Atlas said.
Yeah, one of my favorite people, one of my favorite fighters in the whole world. He's moved up from incredible weight. People forget about that. That's why I brought it up. How many weight classes this man has really moved up. Incredible. Just incredible. But now, yeah, Barrios wouldn't be as big as those other guys, but he's still a guy that's confident. He's a guy that's a world champion. He's a guy who throws a lot of punches. He's a guy who's younger, who's active.
I don't want to stop anyone from making a living or making money, but I'm very concerned with a guy, a great man, who's helped his people, who's fought for his people, who's lifted his people up, who's given away money to his people, but he gave away money to his people that is in a position now that he has to fight at 46 and after 72 fights. Pacquiao, 46, looked his age in a unanimous decision loss to Ugas, who was a late replacement for former unified welterweight champion Errol Spence Jr. after he withdrew from the fight due to an eye injury suffered in training. The former 8-division champion also struggled mightily in his exhibition bout against Anpo, who is a kickboxer. Barrios, 30, faced Ugas in 2023, dropping him twice en route to winning the WBC interim welterweight title by unanimous decision.
I know you can't go by this guy beat this guy, but he could beat that guy, but he could beat this guy, but you can't go by that in my business, in this business, because styles make fights. But you're right. He beat Ugas. You could say Ugas was a little older than when he fought him a little bit than when Pacquiao fought him, and maybe that made a difference, whatever. But he did take a lot of punishment, Pacquiao, in the Ugas fight. I thought that Pacquiao, for his age...
Barrios defended the interim title once, defeating Fabian Maidana on May 4th, 2024, before he was elevated to full titleist after Terence Crawford vacated the belt following his move up to 154 pounds. In his lone defense of the World Boxing Council welterweight title, Barrios fought to a draw against Abel Ramos on Nov 15 on the undercard of Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Keith Thurman is the other common opponent between Pacquiao and Barrios. Pacquiao defeated him by split decision on July 20th, 2019 to win the Super WBA welterweight title, while Thurman defeated Barrios via one-sided unanimous decision on Feb 5, 2022. Atlas vouched for Pacquiao being able to jump right back into a world title shot because of his accomplishments in his career and believes that facing Barrios is his best bet to become the second oldest champion in boxing history.
At that moment, even though he lost the fight, even though he took punishment, I thought he performed as well as he could. I thought he performed well. I really did. I have to say the truth. I thought he performed well for what he could do at that weight and at that point in his life. But I also thought after that fight, he should probably think about leaving because he performed as well as he could.
Still, the Hall of Fame trainer believes it's an uphill climb for Pacquiao given his age, the wear and tear he's accumulated, and how long it has been since he fought in a sanctioned match. "I just think you're playing with fire," Atlas said. "That's all I think. You could move around, navigate a little bit, say this, say that. But there comes a certain point with everything that no matter how much you move the furniture around, you still know what room you're in. You can't fool yourself, and he's in a room where he's 46 years old with 72 fights." Boxing has incredible comeback stories throughout his history. Perhaps the most impressive of them was George Foreman taking 10 years off shortly after his 28th birthday, then fighting until the age of 48. That story has clearly resonated with Manny Pacquiao, who is set to return to the ring at 46 years old.
I would say sad because he's gonna make a lot of money, so we can't feel sorry for him. But at 46, almost 47, it's almost impossible for, I'm just 4 years older, 3-4 years older than him, and it's not easy to try to think you're gonna get in shape and be able to perform like the way you were, when you.
Making matters a bit more difficult is Pacquiao's weight class and the long layoff he's had. Foreman was a heavyweight, and boxers tend to age more gracefully in that weight division. His comeback at the age of 46 has therefore raised eyebrows, and fans have started questioning whether it's a smart decision to return to the ring at this age. Former champions and commentator Shawn Porter has now given his take on the upcoming fight. Porter reminded fans that despite his age, he's still the legendary Manny Pacquiao and believes Pacquiao's speed can get the job done against Barrios.
No, I don't think Pac has the punch resistance to get in the ring with Boots anymore. Once upon a time, that would have been an amazing fight based on who Boots is now and based on who Pac used to be. Pac just ain't that guy no more. Mario, too slow, takes too many punches. But as far as that fight goes, man, I'm at the point now, I hate to see some of these guys come back and get in the ring. It's what they want to do.
Speaking on the Porter Way podcast show, the Hall of Famer said, "It's so hard because he is Manny Pacquiao, right? So it is what it is. He's either going to come to the ring and be able to be fast enough to get off the stuff that he used to get off on, and if he does, he clocks him and he knocks him out. What I know without going into really deep detail, that left hand against that right hand, his left hand always gets there quicker than the other guy's right hand. Not only that, Azteca is a forward fighter, moving into that left hand, so this is kind of a match made in heaven for Pacquiao." Manny Pacquiao is a true boxing legend with a record of August 2nd, 62 with 39 knockouts. However, he will have to turn back the clock for his fight against Barrios.
Amen.
Fred's looking for a hug over here. Fred's looking for a hug. Fred, lost weight.
Yeah, it's too early.
Another clear positive for Pacquiao heading into this fight is that he has longtime head trainer Freddy Roach back in his corner. This duo has been working together for over 20 years, and Roach's guidance and wisdom have been a key cog in Pacquiao's career. It's no surprise that Roach is confident heading into this bout against Barrios. However, a May 26th quote from an interview he did with Boxing Scene conveys just how confident Roach truly is. And then they asked me, who do you pick for Pacquiao to fight on his return? I said, we're going for one fight. We're going for the best fight. It's somebody that he can dominate. And I think that he can do it, Roach is quoted as saying about Barrios. Of course, Roach saying that Pacquiao can dominate Barrios is far from a guarantee that it's going to happen, but it sounds like Roach believes his guy can get his hand raised on July 19th. When Pacquiao was asked by a group of reporters about the 16-year age discrepancy and the dangers of returning now, he flashed a smile and said, "Don't worry about it. It's a tough road for anyone at this age to do what Manny is trying to do, but if anyone can do it, Manny can," Roach told The Ring in a statement provided by his publicist, Fred Sternberg. Pacquiao also teased that his son Jim will make his pro debut on a card that is also supposed to feature the rematch between World Boxing Council junior middleweight champion Sebastian Fundora and Tim Tszyu.
We're here in Manila with the great legendary champion Manny Pacquiao, Sean Gibbons, and Manny is announcing the creation of the memorial for the 50th anniversary of Ali Frazier, the Thrill in Manila.
It was 50 years ago.
So next October 1st, 2025, many surprises to come. And we will fully support all your efforts.
It's going to be a big event.
He's 46 now, and even me as his son, I love him. He's my dad. There's also concern there, Jim told reporters during Roach's ceremony in Hollywood on Sunday. But I believe in him. He has shown us that he stays in shape year-round and all that. So weight is not going to be a problem. Fitness is not going to be a problem. Pacquiao's comeback campaign has long been in the works, and it became clearer last week when he conceded defeat in a bid for another seat in the Philippine Senate after finishing 18th place during the midterm elections.
You're looking in tremendous shape. You're ready to fight Barrios tonight and make history, Manny.
Manny, you excited to step into the ring again?
Yes.
What do you think of Barrios? He's a big, strong, he's young, he's 30. You have 16 years on him, Manny.
Don't worry about it. Manny, for a lot of people, you're the greatest fighter in history, the only champion in 4 different decades. When you beat Barrios, what does that say?
Oh, it's a big thing for me.
And congratulations, you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, June. How are you, madam?
In an interview with Ease News leading up to the highly anticipated fight, Mikey Garcia expressed his admiration for the legendary southpaw while candidly questioning the hurdles the iconic boxer now faces.
First of all, Manny Pacquiao's coach, how you doing? Boo Boy said thank you for all the kind words you said about Manny. He says he watches the videos and he appreciates it.
Well, who else wouldn't say? What else is there to say about Manny? You know,
he's a legend,
like a living legend. You know, and like I said, just gotta tip your hat off to him, man.
What do you think, him and Barrios? We're getting closer and closer.
I've seen the videos, training hard.
Look, I've been around for 15 years.
When asked about Manny Pacquiao, the 4-division world champion remarked to Eli Sekbach, "What else is there to say about Manny, you know? He's a legend, like a living legend." The interviewer responded enthusiastically, probing Garcia's thoughts further. "What do you think about him and Barrios? It's getting closer and closer." The younger brother of veteran trainer Robert Garcia didn't hesitate to emphasize Pacquiao's work ethic, saying,
Mikey, I'm telling you, people think it just said 10-second clips at Mike Tyson. No, he's really he ran an hour and 10 minutes, then he shadowboxed 20 minutes.
I believe it. He's a hard worker. He always worked very hard. I remember seeing them train.
You sparred him.
He was training super hard, so I know he has the work ethic and everything. I just gotta question a little bit, because of the age and everything that he's been out of the ring for so long. So that's the only thing that you gotta question. But I mean, if he can pull this out, fuck.
I've seen the videos. He's training hard. And indeed, the 8-division world champion has been training relentlessly, a fact underscored by the interviewer, who noted the misconceptions some fans have about Pacquiao's preparation being akin to short social media clips reminiscent of Mike Tyson before his controversial fight with Jake Paul last year. Sekbok clarified, "People think it's just like those 10-second video clips of Mike Tyson, but he ran for an hour and 10 minutes, then shadowboxed for 20 minutes." Mikey Garcia, with first-hand insight, acknowledged the intensity of Pacquiao's regimen, remarking, "I've seen the hard work and I've seen him train. He's training super hard. I know he has the work ethic and everything." Yet despite his admiration, the retired boxer posed a crucial question, a valid and resonant query that echoes throughout boxing history whenever legends attempt to return after extended absences.
He will pull it off. I told him this morning and the noon.
Just like Foreman, you know, and that, you know, Hopkins.
Yeah.
He already is a legend as it is. This is just a cherry on top.
What's up, Peter? Hey, Mikey said Manny, if he beats Barrios, is the best ever. Big G, what do you think? Big G. Big G, what do you think about
Garcia pointed out, "My only questions are about his age. Like he's been out of the ring for so long. That's the only thing you have to question."
Pacquiao and Barrios?
He wants Pacquiao to win.
Why?
¿Por qué?
Porque es una historia con él.
History. It's a history, you know, with him. No one will ever be able to equal his history, his story, it's his story.
Your dad told me once that if Manny Pacquiao was American and not Filipino.
Still, Mikey Garcia couldn't suppress his excitement about the potential spectacle of a victorious Manny Pacquiao comeback, likening it to historic triumphs by George Foreman and Bernard Hopkins, stating, "But if he can pull this off, then damn, just like Foreman, you know, like Hopkins, he's already a legend as it is, it would just be the cherry on top." And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.